This video is sponsored by HB Tuners. HB Tuners, if you do not know, is an incredibly user-friendly tuning software and data logging software I've been using for years. I typically use it on my Ford products like my Mustang, but you can use HB Tuners on all sorts of different platforms. And HB Tuners actually just did something incredible. They just unveiled the brand new MPVI4. If you guys don't know what the MPVI3 was, the MPVI3 was one of the most advanced OBD interfaces out there. But with the MPVI4, it's 30 times faster. That's not a little jump, that's a huge jump. And before you enjoy your car, it's really good to plug in HB Tuners, make sure everything's good, and then have the time of your life driving your car. So once again, huge thanks to HB Tuners for sponsoring today's video and always having my back. And make sure to head over to their website and let them know that I sent you. Thank you guys for listening, and on to the video. All right, so brand new Mini Cooper JCW, also known as the John Cooper Works. The John Cooper Works, in my mind, has always been known as like the best of the Mini Coopers of that particular year or that particular generation. And I think that this car has a bunch of goodies on it that kind of validates that opinion. I have very fond memories of Mini Coopers, including two of my friends when I first got into cars had Mini Cooper S's, the supercharged ones. And for a first performance car, they were really, really awesome. But the brand new Mini Cooper could not be more different than the last time I got in a Mini Cooper when it came to the interior, the aesthetic, the infotainment, the screens. There's so much when it comes to the user experience that feels so different. It's still small, it still looks like a Mini Cooper. I know that the grills and everything else have been kind of divisive with this car. You have a bunch of different modes, experiences, and there's these switches on the dash. Now you turn the engine on by turning this fake key, which I don't know why I think I'm such a big strong man that I'm gonna break something, but I kind of feel like I'm going to when I turn it sometimes. The transmission is also a switch that you push down and push up. The parking brake is a button, and your experience tab that kind of change the mood inside the cabin. So I'm gonna push down on the experiences and you get like core green, which is supposed to be like tranquil, I guess. See? Then you have vivid. Then you have timeless, which you have like an old-timey clock. And then you have balance. But then you have my favorite one, go-kart. It literally yells Yahoo like a certain Italian plumber that you might be familiar with. So what we have here, 2-liter turbo, 4-cylinder engine, 228 horsepower, and 280 foot-pounds of torque. And you feel every bit of it. The main thing I want to talk about with the Mini Cooper is actually the experience of it and also the interior. It is by far probably the most divisive thing about this car. Typically when I review cars for a longer period of time, like a press car like this one is, I also like to show it to my friends and also other car people. The most divisive thing about this car is the heads-up display. A lot of people don't like it, and I am kind of in that same boat. The heads-up display is not projected directly to the windshield, it's projected to like its own sort of windshield. So it's another layer for it to project onto. And the unfortunate thing about it is that you have to sit basically perfect for you to see it just right. You need to either raise your seat or lower your seat to get that perfect spot for your eyes to see it. And the pass-through isn't that great either. But that's the only thing on top of the dashboard. It's the only thing. So the rest of the dash very much reminds me of what like an EV cabin would look like. I do find the seats great. I think the steering wheel is fine, but the weirdest thing about the steering wheel is that it's practically a 2-spoke, but has a 3rd spoke that is a literal strap. Like, it's like a piece of fabric. I've never seen anything like it in a modern car before. Also, the materials on the doors here, the material on the front of the dash, it's a material I've never seen before. It looks nice, without a doubt. It's like this textured fabric. But the main thing is the obvious one, the center screen. In the previous Mini generations, it was the massive speedometer and whatnot that was a physical gauge in the center. but then the driver also kind of had their own set. It was almost like, look, passenger, look how much I'm scaring you. Well, it has the same vibe as that, but it's this incredibly high resolution screen instead of physical gauges. However, I do find it to be a little hard to navigate, a little bit hard to read, and most importantly, since the heads-up display, I kind of have to look down here. And then if I need other information, I have to look all the way over here. Next thing you know, you're kind of distracted. That's at least my takeaway, is I don't really like looking over here when I'm shifting gears and stuff like that, because I need to be looking ahead, right? And yes, the heads-up display does have a tack, but it's kind of hard for me to see. It needs to be easier to read in a quick car situation, like when you're getting on the gas. I think this could have benefited from an actual digital screen or a heads-up display that actually projected straight up to the windshield, or just good old gauges. I think all of us are missing gauges by now. The car also has a single exhaust tip out the back. Now, the car does make every bit of the horsepower that it advertises, every bit of it. In fact, it does it so well with the extra torque that it has a good bit of torque steer when you get on it. Do you find that the sport mode with the go-kart mode can almost be too much when it comes to the aggression of the tuning and the shifting? Also, if you downshift and hold it for a second, it'll go into a boost mode. It gets down pretty good. And look, this could be seen as a good thing and a bad thing. It's just kind of what you expect from a Mini Cooper power-wise. They have felt very similar throughout the years. Yeah, when you're exiting kind of out of the hole or out of a corner and you're in kind of the right gear, I guess you could say, you do get some pretty intense torque steer sometimes. Your GTI, Civic Type R, you don't really get that at the same level you get in this. Kind of brings me back to the old like Mazda Speed 3 days. That's kind of the vibe I get. The rumble of this thing sounds like a freaking Subaru. Also, one thing that has driven me kind of up a wall with this car is connecting my phone. It worked just fine once it's already connected, but every single time I have gotten in and out of this car, I've had to repair my phone. It never seems to remember my phone was here. I have to reintroduce my phone to the infotainment system and do the CarPlay every single time. That's something that maybe will be easier in an update or something. I don't know. See, that's character. It's fun to drive. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and put the top down. All right, I haven't done this before, so let's see how easy it is. This? Maybe? Oh, there it goes. Nice. Oh, you can do like a halfway. That's kind of neat. All right, top is down. This is a completely different experience. When the top was up, I felt like I was driving a really, really small SUV. Or sorry, crossover. Got some wheel spin there. Driving a convertible isn't for everybody, but whenever you do get to drive one that's really fun to drive, you gotta understand it. Brakes are great. That's my favorite thing about this car right now is the brakes. Oh yeah, also the back seat behind me, completely useless. Absolutely useless. Torque steer. Lots of torque steer there. Keeps you on your toes, man. Definitely need to rev this thing out to get the full experience. Just makes me kind of miss the rawness of the old Mini Cooper, and also, of course, the manual transmission. I know manual transmissions are tall orders nowadays, it seems, but it would be great doing this right now with the top down, enjoying the cool air. Earlier, I talked about the interior, right? The best way I can describe the interior after being in it for a while, it's almost like you got a car designer to make a concept car interior with the heads-up display and all the fancy amenities. But you know, it's kind of this very artsy, abstract interior in a car with John Cooper Works that I associate as like the hardcore one. I know this is a weird comparison, but it's almost like you take the philosophy of doing like an EV's interior, because I know they made an EV Mini Cooper and then basically applied it to the Cooper Works. And yeah, it's just kind of strange. It is great to see a car company kind of experiment with interiors, try new things, be creative. And I'm sure the design studio was stoked to do something different than just normal screens, right? At the same time, there's a reason why things have been around for as long as they have. This heads-up display needs some work, and at the same time, it kind of feels like you bought an aftermarket heads-up display, right? Burbles. Yeah, I think it's a good-looking car. I think it looks like a Mini Cooper. I think it resembles an homage to the past, right? The grille is absolutely massive, but it's probably for extra cooling and sensors and all that kind of stuff. So my question to you is, with John Cooper Works being kind of the legendary, raw Mini Cooper, like the top of the line Mini Cooper basically, at least in my opinion, that's in my eyes, and the legacy of JCW, what do you think about this one? What do you think about the interior? That's the main takeaway from this car, is the interior. What do you think about the interior from what you see on screen? The motor, the transmission, all that, it's kind of what I expected, but there is a lot of options in the market today for basically the same price that do similar things. GTI, Civic Type R, stuff like that. I just don't know who's buying this John Cooper Works. I think that's what's difficult. Driving this thing as a convertible is absolutely lovely. I did not expect that. So, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below, and thank you so much for coming by and watching this quick car review. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope that all of you have a great rest of your day. See you guys next time. Take it easy. Goodbye. Now let's see how fast it goes up. Fancy.